Welcome back, everybody. We're at the home stretch of, I guess, day one of the Nicholas Fuentes v. Owen Benjamin beef. Yes, can you believe it? We're finally here, and this time I took a little bit of notes. Um, the jury's still out whether it's gonna help me be less cringy. We'll see. It's not determined yet, but I did take some notes. Hopefully, it helps me a little bit more. So, I just want to get straight into it. I finally watched. Um, I just finally completely finished watching both their streams from today. Owen's this morning, Nick's being tonight. I got cut off tonight in the middle of his stream. I had to eat dinner with the family and whatnot. So, yeah, so what do I think? Man, I can't help but to be a bit conspiratorial. It's like has the fake e drama reached um our dark little cubbyhole of the internet? Have has Nick and Owen conspired behind the scenes to create this drama? I, I think it's unlikely, but in my mind, it's just not something I will immediately dismiss because I don't know, man. It's just the way I am. I'm like that with a lot of things. I'm very skeptical, but not saying that this isn't true. And after listening to this develop throughout the day, it's pretty likely that this is legitimate. So starting off with Owen, man, he, I think it's a bit of a psychological thing with him because he, of course, is not happy at all. He is very, very. I mean, he's like level 9001 butthurt right now, because I feel like he might be the lone wolf or what have you, and I don't know. He just seems a little too butthurt because I was reserving judgment on the whole thing until I got to read the telegram thing that Nick wrote. But come to find out, Owen did a Instagram live thing that I haven't seen yet. If anyone could post a link to his Instagram rant about Nick, please point me in the right direction. But so supposedly this is what we know. Someone super chatted Nick, and Nick was offered hey, you should go stream with Owen. I mean, this is stuff we all know, and and uh, and as we know now, I guess Nick never really liked Owen, anyways. So I believe the comment was, you know, now that we know the full story, I could kind of see why Owen might have been mad because he saw through what Nick was saying. Because as Nick came out, he said, "I have only ever pretended to like Owen. Oh, I've never thought Owen was funny. He's super cringy. He interrupts everybody. He's not funny." And I think now that that's been revealed, maybe Owen saw that initially. I don't know, but I'm thinking Owen just feels like he's alone in the world. Um, like he's the only. I guess I don't know. I think he holds a lot of just. I don't even know how I should say this. He's what can we say? Like, yeah, that's all I could. The lone wolf. For lack of better words, he feels like he's the only one saying the 110% truth. And, I honestly think he's kind of taking it too far with how he's saying stuff like, you know, Nick will say the N words, but he'll say milkers. And on the same side, he'll say, I get the Zoomer humor. I love 4chan and POL, but then again, he went on to admit he doesn't know what POL is, or poll. I call it poll. I mean, I know some people call it POL. It's poll, okay? But like I said, he just later admitted that he doesn't even know what POL or poll is. So yeah, he was saying he understands the Zoomer humor, but I don't think he quite understands 4chan. You know, I guess you could call me a new fag. I've been on 4chan since 2009. It's its own little ecosystem. 4chan, it has its own vocabulary. Its vernacular is, well, up until I feel like a few days ago, was exclusive to the website. So, saying stuff like base and red pilled, cringe, that's just the way 4chan talks. I don't know. I guess he doesn't quite understand that. So I don't think Owen truly understands. It's just how you talk when you're on 4chan. You kind of care, and especially when you're talking to someone else, like giving super chats to someone who's a 4chan user, you're going to use the lingo. And because I think it's funny as hell. Yeah, I'm 30, but dude, base, red pilled, cringe pilled, blue pilled, milkers, that shit is funny to me. And I think Owen was cut really, really, really deep when Nick basically said he was unfunny. Because that's what that's their livelihood. When you are telling your audience, and I guess Nick had 2,000 people on his D Live last night, how unfunny and a failed Jewish comedian Nick was cutting deep. And see, I don't like where it's going, because they're both cutting each other deep. Nick with you're unfunny, your piano thing is a shtick, that's retarded, you're crazy. Those are things that cut really deep, and you could tell Owen was swinging back with everything he's had by saying, you're a little mama's boy, you look like a lesbian, which Nick doesn't look anything, he doesn't resemble. Honestly, dude, now that Nick, we'll not get into that right now, but Nick doesn't look like a lesbian to me. And just saying stuff like, oh, he lives with his mom. Man, why does it have to come to this? I guess Nick really had no other option other to respond. I think it could have been handled differently. That's what kind of makes me feel like this is kind of set up. I don't know. But, because Nick usually takes the high route on things like this. But, yeah, I guess dealing with Owen, it's another beast all in itself. Which was leading me to my next point. I don't feel Nick understands this, and I don't feel Owen understands this. I guess there could be two different ways this plays out. They're both accusing each other, like, oh, you don't watch my stream? Well, how did you know I said this? Oh, you don't watch my stream? How do you know I said that? You guys do understand that both Nick and Owen both have a pretty loyal fan base, and both of them have a clips channel that someone runs. So this might not even be that important, but I don't see why they don't understand. Someone could just be, hey, Nick just said this about you, check out this clip. Or, hey, Owen just said this about you, check out this clip. Honestly, I think they both watch each other's shows. I do know this for sure. Owen watches Nick Fuentes 100%. It's just I feel Nick might, I don't know. I don't know. That's probably just not important. I just thought it was silly how they both were just so accusatory of each other. Like, well, he claims to not watch my show, but how did he know this? Um, but yeah, just being so upset that Nick doesn't say the N word and uses optics. I like the triple quotes now. You know, the little quotation marks. Admittedly, I spent way too long doing this. I was in front of the mirror today after I got out of the shower, and you know those like triple quotation marks are or not quotations, the parentheses. I was like trying to look at myself in the mirror, like how I could make the triple parentheses. But he. So I guess Owen's biggest problem is how Nick isn't as unabashedly truthful as Owen is, and how Nick will say the N word and, you know, be a different person depending on what platform he's using. And, you know, I just feel like Owen just doesn't want to feel alone. I think a lot of that comes from a psychological abuse he may have got from his father. But he feels like he needs a teammate because Steven Crowder stabbed him in the back. Joe Rogan stabbed him in the back. Alex Jones stabbed him in the back. You know, he's had all these people who stabbed him in the back, and maybe he felt like he had someone who could be his ally. I don't know, but then it's there's so much to unpack and really go through. But I'm just trying to understand the psychology behind it. I when I was watching Owen stream, I felt a lot of. It was a roller coaster of emotions, but I totally 100% agree. Like, I'm a big 4chan. It's so funny how Owen was saying like, oh, he'll be like this on Twitter and like this on Telegram. It made me think like, if there was actual 4chan gold accounts that were traceable, it's like, yeah, well, he should see how the people act on 4chan. And it brings up my point, like, I totally agree. You act one way on 4chan as you act another way when you're at your job. I don't go to my job and call everybody the N-word and you know, not saying I really do anyways on 4chan, but you know, you have to know when to, you know, reveal your cards, I guess. Probably really bad analogy, I don't know, but you're not gonna act like you do on 4chan when you're on Twitter, and you're not gonna act on Twitter like you do on Telegram. And I feel Owen really fails to realize that. And honestly, I don't know how Owen is still even not completely banned off Instagram and YouTube. So I could just as easily say that about him, because he's wondering how Nick still gets super chats and a blue check mark. Owen is unabashedly, and that might be the second time I've incorrectly used that word in 13 minutes. Just I don't want to say anti-Semitic like it's a bad thing. But every day I watch his stream, I wonder like, wow, how have they not shut him down? Like, seriously. So I could say the same thing about him, but the fact remains, I felt Owen made a lot of good points, but I feel like he's a bit misguided on some of them. Basically, like, you're 20 years old and you still live with your parents. Does Owen not comprehend the economy right now? Well, I guess it's well, according to the stock market, a pretty damn good economy right now. But when I was in the Marines, right, the apartment I was this was 2009. The apartment I was renting back then was $1,300, and that was expensive to me. Now, when you look at that same apartment, it's $2,100, and I don't think the wages have been competitive enough to match that yet. That's just one anecdotal little short example, but it's just so different right now. Like, I'm very blessed by God to have the opportunity to support my family off of one job, and my wife could stay at home with the children. But I think about the blessings I have and how I'm able to do that. The options that came to me with my benefits of being a veteran and what have you don't apply to a lot of the average people out there. It seems almost impossible to be in your 20s to have a family with children, raising it on a normal salary. But anyway, speaking of salary, man, the salary job kicked my ass today. I almost didn't. I'm not a wage cuck. I'm a salary cuck. There's a difference. And it whooped my ass today. I almost didn't make a video, but I want to stay on top of this thing. I want to be serious about this kind of stuff. But going over Nick briefly in his stream tonight, which it was a great stream. Watched it before dinner. Watched it the rest of it just a little bit ago. Had a lot of fun as always. I'm glad. His fans, man. It just seems Nick's fans and Owen's fans. They're ready. The Knickers at war with the Bears. It's gonna be a good one. That's why I made a YouTube channel exclusively for this purpose. This is going to be crazy, and you could see the fog of the war right now. That Nick's advancing his troops strategically, and Owen's on the defense, strategically setting up observation posts with his guys. It's gonna be a wild one, and I could see right now. I could just imagine him in my head right now, Nick, doing some fervent research on why the moon landing is not a hoax, and just preparing for battle. And it should be a very interesting stream. I hope by the end of it they hash it out and apologize to each other. Honestly, that's what I want. I mean, what about you guys? What do you want? What do you think the best outcome possible for this beef, this drama, this drama? Because, as I said before, the movement doesn't need this, even though, again, and it's just my crazy opinion, biblical, prophetic end times. Doesn't matter how much truth is out there anymore. Shit, Edward Snowden pretty much revealed many conspiracy theories to be actually not conspiratorial at all, but very true. And a week later, everyone forgot. Jeffrey Epstein's probably going to get another slap on the wrist. And we're in the age of the internet, and it's just like nobody cares except us. So, in closing, wow, this video is very long. Basically, I feel both of them made good points on the streams today. And and I guess Nick's going on his vacation. We'll see how things go with Owen stream tomorrow. I'm going to predict this will die down for the next few days, and we might not even hear a peep about it until the live stream. But until then, I guess I was wanting to make a video on my background in politics and how I kind of got into it, and my story, going through the Marines, being, some crazy Fox News Republican wanting to kill the terrorists, to where I am now. So I think I'll fill the gaps in with videos like that, and there's a couple other topics I wanted to put out there and really really try to just turn on the microphone and just with the words out that are usually revolving in my head, like, that hamster that never stops spinning in my wheel or in the wheel of my mind, just like thinking of, I'll be laying there at night just thinking, like, why? Why did he have to try to go to the Eastern Front? No, I'm just kidding. But, so yeah, but that's it from now. Guys, I appreciate, man, the support. I got like 20 subscribers, dude. That's legit. And a bunch of comments. I was at like 500 views on my first video. That's awesome. I want to keep at this. So, thank you very much for tuning in. I doubt anyone made it this long. 20 minutes. I really suck. But yeah, guys. Shall we see how it goes on day 2? Thank you very much for watching. This is Some Political Gamers signing.